Hi everyone, my name is Mike. I am a professional business manager, software engineer, writer, podcaster, recording studio engineer. Anyway, that means I spend a lot of time on the computer. In fact, I've been using keyboards and mice the old-fashioned way for about 40 years. But over the course of the last couple of months, I have been using something that I think is a game changer. It's a device built for this century, and it's called the KeyMouse. And I am here to review the KeyMouse Alpha. Now, there's also a track mouse version. I've personally never used it. I do have a friend and colleague that uses it regularly and loves it. But I'm a good old-fashioned mouse kind of guy, so that's the device I'm going to be spending some time with today. I'm going to tell you how it works, what I like, some of my critiques, which honestly there aren't a ton, and I'll talk about my overall impressions, which, spoiler alert, are really favorable. You're going to have to drag this thing out of my cold, dead hands. I just love it. Let's start with how it works. So it moves the keys into nice, tidy little columns, which is something that we've seen with boutique keyboards before, including the very popular Kinesis, but it is used to great effect here. And for those that are used to a standard centuries-old staggered layout, it might take a little bit of getting used to, but it really is used nicely for the KeyMouse. Keycaps can be configured at the time of purchase. I chose QWERTY. I have moved mine around a little bit. They do provide a tool for you to do that. But you can also choose Dvorak, Colmac, you can go with blanks. There are lots of options available. There's also cherry switches for hot mechanical typing action. For myself, I love the blues. They are extra clicky, they have a lot of response, but if you prefer something quieter, you can configure that at the time that you buy. There are also thumb keys that have been added. Again, this isn't a totally new idea. We've seen this with other keyboards, but again, used for great effect here. It gives you a lot of different options. The function keys have been moved to a very effective place. They're very easy to get to with your pointer fingers. And it has a lovely ergonomic and quite comfortable design. There are multiple sizes available. I chose medium. I used a size chart online, which I printed out, and it fits like a glove. It's perfect. I'm very happy with what I ended up with. It's not only one mouse, but it's actually two. Both sides act as mice, which may sound a little funky at first, but once you get used to it, you will realize that there are lots of options available. You can make them both the same speed, you can make one faster than the other, you can turn one off if you prefer right or left-handed. You're going to hear this as a theme. There's lots of options available. Now, there are also thumb buttons available on the sides here for clicking both primary and secondary right and left mouse. There's middle buttons as well, again, configurable like everything else. And there are scroll bars as well, or scroll wheels, I should say. Now, it lacks some of the keys that you would be familiar with on your standard keyboard, like up, down, left, right, or the numbers, or even some of the symbols, but it makes up for this with the concept of layering. Right out of the box, you'll see that there's a function yellow and a function blue. I've moved mine because, again, you can configure everything, but that allows you to, with a button press, choose the arrow keys or things like page up, page down, end, home, symbols, and so on, or gives you access to a number pad. And this is actually really cool because it means that you don't have to move your hands around at all to touch anything. All of this is very programmable. You can have up to 6 layers in total, which can be accessed with any number of combinations of button presses. Now, there are macros as well, and this is great if you're a programmer. You can have a key press that does, say, an open code block, or you could program emoticons. Really, the options are endless. And it isn't anything that requires you to get into a text file. There's actually a really nice UI that is super easy to use and very user-friendly. And I was up and running within really minutes, starting to do macros myself. It comes in both Bluetooth and wired. That both comes out of the box. I currently have mine wired, but when I use a laptop, I go with the Bluetooth option. Okay, let's see if I can quickly enumerate all the things I really like about this. First of all, the ergonomic design is so comfortable. It's meant to reduce range of motion. It does this extremely well. Everything is really easy to reach. No more T-Rex arms. You have this nice natural position, which I think is unprecedented in a peripheral like this. I love the twin mice. I feel like a wizard, a conjurer. And it opens up a lot of productivity options. The workflow that can emerge as a function of having everything right at your fingertips is, well, it's actually kind of staggering. There's a really great video online that the KeyMouse folks put together. It's got one of their engineers doing some coding, and if you are a programmer, you absolutely are going to want to check it out. It's very cool. I am personally getting sick of using the words options and configuration, but it is so configurable. It's ridiculous. Now I am starting to use a new layout even. I'm trying Colmac DH. I never would have tried that before, but it was really simple to set up just a quick key to go back and forth between QWERTY and this new masochistic layout that I'm trying out. I have a disability with my left hand. My pinky doesn't really work at all. My left ring finger doesn't work independently. And this device has made it so that I can move things around and have the most comfortable input experience that I've had in over 20 years. And then there's gaming. Nobody's talked about gaming yet. Now, I still use a gaming mouse for something like Overwatch, but with games like RimWorld, which I've been playing a lot of, it's an awesome strategy game, or role-playing games, there are a ton of options for controls and possibilities there, and I'm really just scratching the surface. I promise I'm going to stop saying the word options after this. Now, a couple of critiques or things that I have found challenging. There is a serious adjustment period. Key locations, symbols, numbers, the columns, even the mice themselves are a little finicky to get used to at first. And none of that's really the KeyMouse team's fault. It just is what it is, but it definitely is. It took me a couple hours to be ready to type with any effectivity at all, and it was about a week and a half before I was really comfortable and up to speed. Well, at the time of this recording, there were a couple of bugs, except yesterday they fixed the biggest one for me, which I think really speaks to how solid this team is. Their support is very white glove. They're very responsive. Obviously, they care a lot about their product, and they fixed the one thing that I found that was the most annoying very quickly, and they've been incredibly responsive. And they also treat their customers like intelligent human beings, which shouldn't really be a plus, but it is. It absolutely is, especially in the modern world. Now, finally, the big thing, it's not a cheap peripheral. It's $500, and that will turn some folks off. However, if you consider the cost of a higher-end keyboard and a higher-end mouse, and you smush those together, it's not that far off. And in fact, there are keyboards on the market that are even more expensive than this. And I think you couldn't find anything that does a better job at what this does. It really is unique. So that's it. My final verdict is I love it. I will never go back. I do not work for KeyMouse. In fact, I am just an enthusiast and a customer who's planning to buy a second one. That's how much I like it. I'm going to have one for travel as well. Have yourself a great day. Thanks for watching.